So how did the ultra running come about for you? How did it all start?
Oh, completely by accident. Totally by accident. I never liked the shape of my legs, and so somebody said to me that the best way to actually change the shape of my legs was to take up running. So I went to the gym and I stood on a treadmill and I taught myself how to run. I was very self-conscious. And you know, back in those days, so 16 years ago, you didn't see lots of people running outside with backpacks. I mean, there really weren't people running outside, and you certainly very, very rarely saw a female running. And so I was then asked by some friends who were in the gym, you know, why don't you come and join us outside for a 10-mile run or something? And I thought, 10 miles, you know, 7 miles further than I'd sort of done before, and it was outside. Terrifying. But actually, you know, I loved it. I went outside and it just made me feel completely sort of free. And so it was from that moment, really, that I realised that, you know, there was more to running than just running on a treadmill. And then somebody suggested that we entered the Marathon des Sables, and that was it. I couldn't, you know, here I was given this opportunity to go and take part in a big, big adventure. And I thought, well, I'll just do one and then, you know, just that'll be it. Little did I know, actually.
Would you say you're quite sort of competitive?
Well, I've never thought of myself as a particularly competitive person. I think mostly, you know, before I go and do a race, I will do the research. Not so much now, but you know, a few years ago, I would sort of find out who else was racing. But I would mostly, well, I felt, perhaps I was wrong, but mostly race against myself. So if I wanted to, you know, get a first place or, you know, try and get a podium place, I would race against myself rather than other people. Perhaps I am more competitive than I think I am. I don't know. I do set myself goals and I have aims, and I do get disappointed if I don't manage to do it. Hugely disappointed, actually, sometimes. But then again, if I've given it my all, I couldn't have done any better anyway. So am I competitive?
The reason I ask is in your blog, when you're talking on the Grand Union Canal race,
yes,
then you were sort of ahead of all the other women, and then you'd come to pretty much like the end of your energy, and you were kind of thinking, oh, right, you'd written down, oh, were there any of the other women sort of catching you up, and you obviously wanted to finish ahead of them.
I did. No, I do remember that, and it's, you know, and I remember thinking, you know, please don't catch me up, please don't catch me up, because if you catch me up, I know that I just can't physically go, you know, any faster. So in that respect, I think had a woman overtaken me at that stage, I would have been deeply disappointed. So I suppose I am competitive, and I know in the Spartathlon, when I did it in 2011, you know, my aim for that race was purely to finish. Absolutely, I wasn't, you know, it's such a good quality field that there was no way I would ever podium in that. Well, right up until over the halfway, I was second lady, and you know, and people kept on telling me, and I kept saying, please don't tell me where I am, I'm not interested. And then suddenly, within a split second, 2 women came up behind me, and I went from second to fourth, and I remember thinking, well, I'm not having that, am I? So I did manage to overtake one, and then I just thought, right, that's it, I am so not letting anybody else overtake me now. So then my competitive spirit did come out, yes. So, yeah, okay, I am quite competitive. All right, I'll give you that one.
You've written about your suffering from anorexia.
Yeah.
Do you think that has any bearing or any relationship, or is anything that sort of relates to what you do now?
I think in terms of, well, my anorexia is now is cured. No, well, I think cured is the wrong description, actually. I don't think you ever really get completely cured from sort of an eating disorder. You learn how to cope with it and you manage it, but it doesn't really completely and utterly disappear. But I think in terms of you know, comparing my ultra running and my anorexia, it's, you know, the anorexia for me, the not eating, the food side of it, was the only thing in my life at that stage that I felt I had any control over. You know, and everything else around you think is going wrong or you can't control it. Well, I could control my food. I could, you know, turn food down or just pretend not to eat, or you become an incredible liar actually as an anorexic, or having somebody with an eating disorder, which is awful. So I think in terms of, you compare that to my my ultra running, I am a very determined sort of person, so perhaps my anorexia in a way has made me a determined person. I don't know, but I have to be determined to do what I do now, but equally I have to eat. I look at my body completely differently now. So when I put on my running kit, I don't ever think of my body as fat and horrible. My body is a machine. It is it is what gets me from A to B. I now thank my lucky stars that, food now is my friend, it's not my enemy. And it enables me to go and set world records and put one foot in front of the other and go outside and run.